Hi everyone, Petrik here. Today's video will be a bit different than what I usually do. This will be a discussion and kinda like an advice, I guess, because a lot of people constantly ask me about this, so I thought I might as well do a video about it. So it's about why I review books and how I review the books that I finished. I've talked about how I became a novel reader in my reviews for Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. I'm not gonna talk about that in details. I'm going to leave the link in the description if you want to know how. I think I better start to why I first started reviewing books. First of all, as I mentioned, English isn't my first language. One of the reasons why I want to write reviews is to improve my vocabulary. If book to video serve to improve my confidence in speaking in front of the camera and improving my English speaking skill, writing reviews is for me to improve my writing skills in English and improve my vocabulary. That is really one of the reasons why I write reviews in English. If you look at my reviews for the books that I finished in 2016 or 2017, you will see that my reviews consist of a lot of grammatical errors and issues. You know what? On second thought, please do not look at them now. They're frankly quite embarrassing, but you know what? That's how I improve, so I just have to do it. Maybe in the future, if I reread those books, I will definitely rewrite and re-edit the reviews, but you know how it is, time is limited, and I honestly don't know when I will get back to reading those books again. It depends on my mood, right? Second, I do like writing reviews. It is kinda a hobby of mine now. And the way I do this is that I write reviews based on my feelings on the books. And because of this, every time I finish a book, I immediately write my reviews. Always. Almost always the case unless I'm super busy. At most, I will only wait a day before I started writing reviews for the books that I just finished. If I waited longer than a day, let's say I read the reviews on the second day or third day after I finished the book, I know that my reviews will suffer, and personally my feelings on the books are at the highest when I just finished the book. So that's always the best time for me to write my reviews. And somehow this has kind of become a compulsion for me, because if I don't write a review for the book that I just finished, I feel like I haven't properly finished it yet. I don't know why I feel that way, but it just kind of is. It never pressured me though. I actually kind of like the feeling, and every time I write a review and post it, I feel kind of satisfied about it, even when the review sucks. And the next reason why I still write reviews up to this day is to connect with readers. If you look at my Goodreads reviews or even my YouTube videos, you will see that I try my best to always reply to everyone. I feel that if someone has commented on my channel or on my reviews, the least I can do is reply. There will come a day where I cannot reply to every comment anymore, because replying to comment takes time. But I will always try my best to always reply. And I do honestly like talking with other readers, especially those who are very open-minded. And the next reason is probably the biggest reason why I still post reviews to this day and will continue to do it. It is to help readers find the books they love. Right now, at this moment, I have about 20,000 followers on Goodreads, which is frankly something that I never expected to happen. And plus, there are now 6,000 subscribers on this channel, which is amazing. Thank you so much, seriously. Thank you so much. That means I have about 27,000 followers following my reviews on my channel. That's a lot, especially considering that I never expected to have any audience. So here's the thing, writing reviews takes time. Posting videos, for me, takes even more time, especially the editing part. I'm a very slow editor, and it takes a lot of hours for me to learn and edit videos. But you know what? It's so worth it. It's so worth it every time I get a message from readers saying that they found their favorite books because of my reviews. This is the single thing that always makes my day and always boosts my energy to keep on posting reviews. Always. I love it. I love it so much. It means that I'm helping someone. I think that's something truly incredible. That's one of the biggest benefits of social media. If you find a favorite books or favorite series or favorite authors because of a review recommendation, let them know. It cannot hurt. It will probably make their day. And the last reason why I still and love reviewing books is that I get to help authors in the meantime. So not only I can help readers find their favorite books, now I can also help authors reach a bigger audience. And this means not only for popular books, especially for self-published fantasy books. Trust me, there are a lot of amazing self-published fantasy books. There are still a lot that I want to read, and I'm sure there are still a lot of great ones. This doesn't mean that I write reviews to please authors. No, it doesn't work that way. All of my reviews, all of them are always prioritized towards readers. It is very important that I create reviews as honest as possible. This is always the best way to get the right reader to read these books. Always. This is always the best way in my opinion. Reviewers are an author's praising machine. Reviewers, the majority of them, tells their audience their feelings and analysis about the books. That's usually how it works. But if it's a positive reviews, like let's say 4.5 out of 5 stars or 5 stars rating, why not let the authors know? And from my experience, a lot of authors do want to know when their books are loved. But a little bit of advice from me, if you have an issue with the book, let's say, even if it's something really small, do not tag the authors in your review. It doesn't help anything. The books are published already. What are they gonna do? Rewrite this? But if it's a book that you feel completely positive about, I think you should try letting the authors know. They will really appreciate it most of the time. Writing books or writing reviews can be very solitary sometimes. It always helps to get positive feedback and comments from those who enjoyed the content. There are of course other reasons why I still write reviews, why I continue to love writing reviews, but those are the major ones. Now let's move on to how I rate and review my books. So here's how it goes. Usually 1-star rating means that I absolutely dislike the book. There is nothing in it that made me want to read it again. Nothing whatsoever. A good example of this is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. I know that this is a very beloved book, but everything about this book just pissed me off so much. I had so many issues with it. So yeah, 1-star rating. But these days, I don't give a lot of 1-star rating. Why? Because I always end up DNFing the book before I even reach the halfway point. So I don't leave any ratings. And I used to follow my compulsion that I have to finish a series no matter what. But no, now I don't do that anymore. My TBR pile isn't getting shorter and there are so many books that I want to read. So if a book doesn't work for me, I most of the time will end up DNFing the book. 2 stars rating pretty much means that I have a lot of issues with the book, but there are still redeeming factors. A good example of this is Harold the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. I love the first book, Gideon the Ninth, but Harold the Ninth, in my opinion, was just unnecessarily confusing. By the time I reached the final 30% of the book, in which everything was revealed, I don't think the confusement in the first 70% of the book was worth it. But the last 30% was good. So yeah, I gave Harold the Ninth 2 stars. 3 stars rating or 3.5 stars usually means that I'm okay with the book. Maybe the book is still good despite having several issues. An example of this is The Ruin of Kings by Jen Lyons. My issue with this one is almost the same as Harold the Ninth. I truly believe that The Ruin of Kings could have been something truly amazing if it weren't so unnecessarily convoluted. I'm not saying that complex books are bad. I mean, Malazan Book of the Fallen by Stephen Erickson is one of my favorite series of all time. And this series is very dense and complex sometimes. But for me, complex books have to have a reward. I have to get the feeling of that satisfying reward when I manage to finish the book. And I get that a lot in Malazan Book of the Fallen, but I didn't get that in The Ruin of Kings or Harold the Ninth. In my opinion, honestly, 3 stars rating isn't a bad rating, in my opinion. It is still a good book. And for 4 stars rating, it means that it is a great book. I only have a few minor issues with it. I read a lot of books with 4 stars rating. As I mentioned earlier, I write reviews and rate books based on my enjoyment of the book. A book or series can be as complex and massive as possible, but if it bores me so much, I will still give it a bad rating. And lastly, for 5 stars rating, it pretty much means that I absolutely love the book. This probably means that I have almost no issues with it. I enjoyed it so much. I had a really great time. Most likely will be in my list of favorite books, which is a lot. I personally don't think a book has to be like something truly mind-blowing, life-changing for it to receive a 5 stars rating. I don't do that. If I enjoy a book immensely, I didn't have any issues with it, and I had a really great time, it will most likely receive a 4.5 stars rating or maybe a 5 out of 5 stars rating from me. And lastly, I have talked about this briefly in my Q&A sessions. My reviews most of the times do have structure. Having a structure in my reviews do help me a lot in writing a reviews. The majority of my reviews will consist of first an introduction. So this is pretty much where I explain how I found out about the book and why I decided to read the book. Then the plot and themes of the book as spoiler-free as possible. And then the next paragraph I will talk about the characters, the characterization, and what I love or dislike about the characters. And then after that, if it's a fantasy book, I will talk about the world building and maybe magic system, whether it's a soft magic or whether it's a hard rule magic. And then if the book has a lot of actions, I will proceed to talk about the action sequences. And before the conclusion, I will most likely talk about the prose. And finally, the concluding paragraph. So yeah, that's it. This is pretty much why I still write reviews and how I write my reviews. The majority of them anyway. Hope this video has been beneficial to some of you. Let me know what you think about this. This is the first time I make a video discussion like this. Let me know whether you want more in the future or not, because there are still a lot of questions I do get. Like the difficulty of becoming an international reader and how do I read 100 books per year. So yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I'm always grateful for your support. And once again, thank you so much for helping me reach 6,000 subscribers. It means a lot. It means a lot to me. And let me know your thoughts on this video in the comments below. Bye bye.